Huge betting brands like Bet365 and Betfair penalise winners with stake limits, account restrictions, premium charges and data profiling. It's the most frustrating thing for smart punters with a successful betting strategy. Being banned or refused your winnings can be traumatic. But I've discovered a reliable solution that solves all three of these problems permanently. Now, those other companies don't want you to know about it because for the last 30 days, I've tested it out fully. Almost anyone can use it, so if you want to win and keep all of your winnings, then this video is something special just for you. By the end, you'll see exactly why. Now, for context, I'll explain three crucial areas that make this sports betting solution different to anything else that you've seen. A few of you have left comments about it in the past, so it was only about time that I gave it a go. Now, I was a little skeptical at first, but as I went through the sign up process, I soon realised that profiling customers' sensitive financial information to extract more profit and restrict winning wasn't on their agenda at all. Access wasn't blocked for using a VPN, and I wasn't asked to take photos of myself holding up all sorts of different documents. It will make more sense as to why that is when I cover my second point in a moment, but first, value sports betting, arbitrage strategy and match betting often lead to stake restrictions and account suspension with sportsbooks. BetDex, however, is a pure exchange, like Betfair, but with some crucial differences. To start, players can access, deposit and bet via debit card or crypto from almost anywhere. Deposits are processed by MoonPay, a multinational payment processor that services more than 10 million customers in 160 different countries around the world. So this means that the initial know your customer checks are independently done via MoonPay. The betting company doesn't have access to my private financial data, so there's no chance of them abusing it like other betting companies do. To me, this alone makes them very different. I'll leave some details in the description down below, but there's only additional checks after $3,000 worth of betting volume. Thankfully, it's not on withdrawal like some other places. So once I'd signed up, I was immediately looking for my next biggest fear: premium charges. For those unaware, it's an extra charge that other betting exchanges apply to repeat winners. Now, unfortunately, most sports bettors aren't aware that they even exist because you only find out about them once you qualify, as you can see on my Betfair account here. You'll see exactly why when I cover the second and third points on my list, but BetDex are totally against premium charges, and they're quite clear about it too. There aren't any. It really is a breath of fresh air because they don't push customers onto a sportsbook or casino either. So they really don't care if you are a smart player that's consistently winning or not. So long as there's money to get matched against, stakes are totally unlimited. The platform merely is a third party that allows people to bet against each other. So just to be sure, I put this to the test myself by placing a range of value bets, as you can see here. I found the website interface easy to use with a simple menu tree on the left and markets laid out in decimals, much like you'd expect. My experience did raise one obvious problem though. Some of my favourite markets where I know that I can easily extract value are not available yet. And I say yet because I want to be fair and realistic here. BetDex is still a young betting exchange, so offering heaps of betting options on thousands of different events and sports isn't practical just yet. Adding smaller ancillary markets to their football offering and extra sports like horse racing is something I really want to see going forward. However, aside from this, the only restriction that I can see is liquidity, which leads me on to my second crucial observation, because this is where the real magic happens. Every betting exchange that I've ever come across has this problem: genuine liquidity. Exchange traders, value and match betting all need plenty of activity to make big profits. Historically, secondary betting exchanges have really struggled with it. However, this time there's some extremely unique innovation going on. It's also why I believe this betting exchange has true uncapped potential. To ensure that everyone understands, when I say liquidity, I'm talking about money that is actively being bet on the exchange. In layman's terms, the money that is sloshing back and forward that allows users to get their bets matched at the best prices. Now, without liquidity, you'll see gaps between back and lay prices or small amounts of money available to be matched. Worst case, there's nothing at all. So why is this situation different? The answer is Monaco. No, not the country, the decentralized third-party liquidity pool that provides liquidity for BetDex. Now, please bear with me as I explain here. The Monaco protocol is a system created through a series of self-executing contracts written into code that allow users to bet against each other on the blockchain. The code is open source, so anyone can scrutinize it. So why is this so important, and why will it change the game? Basically, it means that the system can't be manipulated and bets can't be interfered with, and it allows BetDex users to bet against anyone interacting with the Monaco protocol via the blockchain. Think of a global betting pool with other betting companies, independent bookmakers and individuals all betting into one place at the same time, unrestricted, regardless of where they are. Now consider that the entire system is sealed so that it can't be manipulated or changed by the company. There's no chance of them front running other people's orders, and it makes it scalable, reliable and trustworthy. I should also add that Monaco is a community owned ecosystem, meaning that users of BetDex can earn token ownership in the protocol by betting on the site. It's one of the reasons that their business model works without the need for hidden charges. Now, if you want to sift through the finer details on that, there's a link in the description down below. But as I see it, liquidity is bound to grow. In the short time that I used it, I managed to come out ahead. And the more liquidity there is, the more opportunity there is. Now, there aren't external software tools like Geeks Toy available for the public yet, although if you have the coding skills, there's an API to create your own or run automation. So this leaves the third and final point that affects everyone. What is the cost? What is the downside here? To put into context, let's take a look at my results using BetDex and compare them. Betting exchanges like Betfair routinely charge users 5% commission on every settled betting market's winnings, plus another premium charge taking their cut up to 20%, 40% or 60% depending on how much you won over the lifetime of your account. The first level kicks in at just £5,000 profit. Now, as I mentioned previously, BetDex are strictly against premium charges, so that's a massive difference for the biggest sports bettors out there. However, if you're not in that bracket just yet, there's good news too. At the moment, BetDex are regularly running on 0% commission to bring in new customers and grow their user base. Beyond that, they're quite clear that they'll only charge 3% commission on net winnings for each market. That's it. So my $300 profit is actually a $300 profit. To put that into context, by comparison, with 20% premium charge on Betfair, it would have been only $240 profit. And at 40%, it would have been just $180. And 60%, well, what's the point? So from my point of view, as it stands, BetDex looks like the go-to betting exchange of the future, especially if you're making money with a betting strategy like this one here in the end screen. It's full of secret sauce that leads to consistent profit, so check it out now.